By 2068, the climate will become deadly, pushing
Record heat is
humanity
being
to
blamed for the spread of wildfires worldwide.
The Earth is changing at a terrifying pace. Since the start of the 21st century, the environment has been degrading so rapidly that it's impossible to ignore. Industrial waste flows freely into rivers. Toxic gases are released into the atmosphere without any limits. Where dense forests once thrived, mountains of trash now rise, yet humanity seems oblivious to the danger. Years pass. By 2037, the planet is almost unrecognizable. The average temperature has risen by just 1.5 degrees. It seems like a small number, but its effects are catastrophic. Ice caps at the poles are melting at an unprecedented rate. Sea levels keep climbing. Water has already swallowed 20% of the land. Entire regions lie beneath the waves. Coastal cities are turning into modern-day Atlantises. Wildfires rage across forests, day and night, unrelenting. Every day, entire species vanish. They go extinct one by one, and humanity barely notices. On one such grim day, Israel hosts yet another UN climate summit. The event begins on schedule. On stage, a hologram of a woman appears delivering a passionate speech to the attendees. She asks a simple question. When was the last time you saw a truly clear blue sky? She recalls the warning scientists around the world issued back in 2015, the year she was born. They said clearly, if the average temperature rises by 2 degrees, the world will face catastrophic consequences. But greedy corporations, thinking only of profit, ignored the warning. They kept polluting the planet, destroying nature, and draining its resources. And now humanity is paying the price for that short-sightedness. The woman urges the delegates in the hall to seriously consider the survival of the human species. Her words strike a chord. Around the world, ordinary people take to the streets. Protests and demonstrations erupt. Citizens of different nations demand real action from their governments, not empty promises. But inside the conference hall, the atmosphere is entirely different. Delegates are too preoccupied with current crisis. They have no time to think about the long-term future. Years of abnormally high temperatures have brought drought to 2/3 of the world's countries. If the temperature goes up 2 degrees or 10 degrees, it doesn't matter if you have no water. Billions of people are left without access to clean drinking water. Forget about water for irrigating crops. There simply isn't any. For many, the only option is to flee to European countries in search of a better life. But the European Union cannot physically accommodate such a massive influx of refugees. Then Omar Haddad, the delegate from Algeria, speaks up. His country is also suffering from resource shortages, but he insists that fleeing is not the solution. The meeting turns into a heated argument. Delegates from different countries clash, unable to reach a compromise. Then Omar proposes an unexpected solution, turning to the corporation Alpha. They could provide desalination technology for free, solving the freshwater shortage once and for all. The proposal shocks everyone in the room. Delegates exchange bewildered glances. No one believes the world's largest private company would agree to such generosity. But Omar reminds them that drought leads to political and economic instability, and clearly Alpha has no interest in that. The Palestinian delegate echoes his point, warning that disasters could reignite conflict between her country and Israel. The French delegate interprets this as a threat, but Omar reiterates they just need water. The French woman counters that Alpha won't give anything away for free. They will demand something in return. Suddenly, Omar receives an urgent phone call and rushes out of the hall. The scene shifts to a blazing forest in North America. Omar's wife, Rebecca, 8 months pregnant, and her colleague are running through the trees. They had come to monitor bird activity, but a sudden shift in the wind sends the forest fire that had been burning in the distance straight toward them. Fortunately, their phone's GPS is still working, and soon a rescue helicopter arrives, lifting them out of the inferno. At the hospital, Rebecca's colleague asks if she plans to join the nonprofit wildlife organization behind a bold new initiative, Managerie 2100. The project aims to collect genetic material from various species over the coming decades, and once Earth's climate improves, revive extinct animals. Her colleague is skeptical. The project is essentially an act of surrender, placing hope in a future that may never come. Rebecca believes that something is better than nothing and tries to stay optimistic, but her colleague grimly adds that at this rate, they might soon have to consider reviving humans as well. The end is coming faster than they think. Learning about Rebecca's condition, Omar
leaves the conference immediately and rushes to his wife. He hands his voting rights to the Palestinian delegate, hoping she will make the right decision and vote for a real solution to the drought crisis. Suddenly, a commotion erupts outside the hall doors. A masked man bursts into the room shouting that the corporation Alpha is the true enemy of the planet. Security moves to stop him, but he keeps yelling his accusations. Meanwhile, in London, Nick Bilton, CEO of Alpha, is living the high life. He lounges in the massive pool of his luxurious mansion. A female voice echoes from the walls. It's an AI assistant updating him on the latest affairs. The voice warns that if the company donates its water desalination technology to countries in need, losses would exceed $2.7 billion. Bilton doesn't care at all. Instead, he's focused on the Arctic. That's where he plans to build the most extravagant casino in the world. His reasoning is simple. With global temperatures climbing, the North Pole will soon become the last paradise on Earth. Wealthy tourists will flock there, desperate to escape the unbearable heat. Soon, his legal advisor enters. She voices concerns about the project. Building a casino in the Arctic isn't easy. The rights to mineral extraction there belong to the UN. No country or company can make unilateral decisions about that territory. Bilton ignores her again. He doesn't actually need a casino. It's just a cover. His real goal is to reach the richest mineral deposits hidden beneath the Arctic ice. Wildfires raging around the world have sent prices for rare metals skyrocketing. Nickel, copper, and cobalt have become the new gold. Outside the UN building, a massive crowd has gathered. People have been protesting from morning till night. Today is the final day of the summit, and everyone hopes to hear a concrete environmental plan from Milton. Citizens worry about the water crisis. They fear greedy capitalists will find ways to push safe temperature limits even higher. At that moment, Bilton's motorcade arrives. His lawyer bursts in with exciting news. All parties have agreed to their proposal. Alpha now has the rights to extract minerals in the Arctic. In exchange, the company will hand over its water desalination patent along with some additional perks. But suddenly, a masked man appears in front of the motorcade, the same protester from the conference room. He pours a can of gasoline over himself and pulls out a lighter. Flames erupt. The man becomes a living torch. He hopes his sacrifice will awaken someone's conscience and force businessmen and politicians to confront the truth. But the sacrifice is in vain. Nothing changes, and the world keeps sliding toward the edge of the abyss. The next morning, Bilton steps onto the stage delivering a polished speech to delegates and cameras. He announces that Alpha will provide its seawater desalination technology for free to all countries in need. Moreover, Alpha will join the Tel Aviv Accord to fight global warming. The company pledges to do everything in its power to keep the average temperature from rising above 2.3 degrees. Protesters outside can barely contain their rage. Destroying the planet cannot continue, and even a tenth of a degree matters. But this is the summit's compromise. Delegates readily hand over the rights to Arctic mineral extraction. In exchange for desalination technology, they can now report progress to their constituents. Omar finally reunites with Rebecca, yet the stress, physical exertion, and thick smoke have left their mark. The birth goes smoothly, but their baby is diagnosed with a congenital heart defect. The father urges staying positive. Maybe in the future, technology will advance enough to make such problems minor. Another call interrupts them. This time, it's Omar's colleague from Palestine. She admits she made the wrong choice. By agreeing to raise the temperature threshold, she traded the future for the present. Meanwhile, before the Arctic decision is finalized, Bilton hands over the initial project plans to a greedy developer. The developer immediately begins prepping for research. His assistant quickly drafts a construction plan but warns, starting in the Arctic will accelerate ice melt, sea levels will rise faster, and the public will erupt in outrage. The developer isn't fazed. Cynically, he reasons that higher sea levels mean more contracts to upgrade coastal buildings. As for the actual catastrophe, he likely won't live to see it. Next, they fly to the Arctic to survey the land. The developer dreams of hunting polar bears. His partner eagerly adds to the idea. The future casino could offer hunting tours for wealthy clients. Their assistant shatters their fantasy. Polar bears have been extinct for years. The only remaining Arctic animals are walruses. They arrive at the site. The scene is stunning. The Arctic is no longer covered in massive glaciers. The surrounding sea is dotted with drifting